Hello and thanks again for joining us. My name is Jesse, and if you're just tuning in for the first time, this is a continuation of my comprehensive Meteor Hammer and rope dart tutorial series. In today's video, we're going to be talking about planes. So what is a plane? A plane is a flat two-dimensional surface. And if you've had a chance to spin your Meteor, you notice that when it moves, it seems to move along a flat two-dimensional surface. So this space and the manner in which it moves is what we reference when we talk about planes. Now, as we use them in this context, there are three planes to the body. They are the sagittal plane, the coronal plane, and the transverse plane. So let me demonstrate all three for you quickly so that you know what they are. So first, the sagittal plane. The sagittal plane runs on either side of the body from front to back. I'll show you again. Here's on the opposite side of the body. And I can even turn to the side and show you from this angle. So this is the sagittal plane. The second plane is the coronal plane. And the coronal plane moves from left to right. So the coronal plane is when the meteor is on the front of the body, spinning in either direction, it doesn't matter, moving in a clockwise or counterclockwise motion. And again, you can manipulate in the coronal plane on the back side of the body as well. Again, which way you spin, it doesn't really matter. And lastly, we have the transverse plane. And the transverse plane is a horizontal plane laying flat. So this is mostly seen over the head, but it can also be seen mid-level around the waist, and it can also be seen underfoot. So those are the three planes to the body: the sagittal plane, the coronal plane, and the transverse plane. Now, if you're not sure what those words mean, sagittal, coronal, transverse, it might be really hard to remember. So fortunately, there are some common terminologies that are used to replace those words, and it'll make them a lot easier for you to remember and to help you recall them in your training when you need to analyze your moves more fully. So the sagittal plane is called the wheel plane because it moves a lot like a wheel on a bicycle or in a car, either from front to back or from back to front. I like to think of it like sitting in a car. The wheels are on either side of you, spinning either forward or to the reverse. So that's the wheel plane. The next plane is the wall plane. And the wall plane is either in front of you or behind you. And just imagine that either you're facing a wall and you can't pass in front of it, or the wall is behind you and you have your back up against the wall. Lastly, we have the cloud plane and also the earth plane. Now this is just a reference to where around your body it is. The cloud plane, of course, is over your head like a cloud, flat and over your head. The earth plane is when the meteor, or your rope dart, goes down low and it's passing under your feet. So that would be the earth plane. So once again, the sagittal plane is also called the wheel plane. The coronal plane is also known as the wall plane, and the transverse plane is also known as the cloud plane or the earth plane. So now that we have that covered, let's talk about how to label our spins when we're spinning within these planes. So starting with the sagittal plane, spinning to the front. So as I spin in this manner, you notice that the meteor is falling downward as it comes in front of my body. So this is called a downspin. If I were to reverse this spin, the meteor rises upward in front of my body, so we'll call this an upspin. Once again, down spin and up spin. Now, in the other two planes, we use a very similar terminology. In the wall plane, if the meteor is spinning and it's falling on the same side on which my anchor hand is, then this is called an anchor spin. However, if it's falling on the side on which my lead hand is, then it's called a lead spin. Once again, this is an anchor spin because it's on the same side as my anchor hand. Reversely, it's known as a lead spin because it's falling on the same side as my lead hand. Now the terminology stays the same when you're in the cloud plane or in the earth plane. As I spin over my head, if it's moving towards the same side as my anchor hand, then this once again is known as an anchor spin. Or, reversely, if it's spinning toward the same side as my lead hand, then this is a lead spin as well. So that covers the basics on planes and spinning within them. So I will use these terminologies quite frequently in just about every one of my videos to help describe to you the exact manner and method in which the Meteor Hammer, the rope dart, is to be spun around the body. For your own personal use, when you're explaining your movements to someone else, or when you are analyzing your techniques and trying to create new techniques or trying to chain movements together, when you think of them in a very systematized way, it allows you to more easily understand your movements and to help rethink the old patterns to create new patterns. So if you haven't done so already, please check out my channel, subscribe for more videos. There are a lot of videos there already, and there are many, many times more videos to come. So I want to thank you so much for watching. That's all for today. We'll see you next time.